And we have just been plunged in head first with no formation. Lap 4 the sprint race here tonight. At the Red Arrows Formula 1 League, Super Striker there gets a good getaway, but Shane's slightly better as he tucks into the slipstream here, coming down towards turn 1. Can Shane get anything done here? Looks to the inside there, Super Striker. Super Striker has that outside. Oh, Shane there loses it. Was there contact, or did somebody tap him from behind? I'm not sure. But Shane is down to the back of the pack there, as looks like Ernie's also dropped away to places here on this opening lap as well. But Super Striker leading ahead of Cucumber, with Honey Badger there in third place, as we can see ZX Tenor and Angry Guns right behind Honey Badger at the moment. But what an absolute disaster there for Shane as we went through the Villeneuve or the Tamburello chicane on the opening lap, and devastating there for Shane. He is now well off at the back of the pack there in 20th and last place. That could not have gone much worse there for the Aston Martin driver, but Super Striker has got almost, well, he got over a second of a gap, almost. It just crept over a second now, back just under to Cucumber. Can Cucumber keep Super Striker honest here in this sprint race here tonight? Obviously it's a pure pace, but a bit of tyre saving maybe as well, seeing as they don't get to, or there's no mandatory pit stop, so you would think that it'd be to the driver's advantages to try and look after those tyres a little bit and get them to make sure that they get to the end with plenty of confidence, or rather with them being able to provide the drivers with plenty of confidence by the time they get to the final couple of laps of the race. But situation is Ernie's also dropped off a little bit here. Lucky Luciano is staying out on the track, but has also dropped well off at the back of the pack at the moment, as I see Ernie also coming around the final corner here. Ernie's into the pits to get some damage repairs, so that's clearly been an issue there for him. Cucumber here coming under pressure from Honey Badger in these early stages. Formula C is currently trying to attack here on the back of Northover, but has also got Andrew Pittsmith in very close contention at the moment as well. So Andrew Pittsmith looking to try and pile the pressure on the back of Formula C for the time being. We've got Onzi in P15, who's just got ahead of Little Mahin here. So Little Mahin, they're losing a place there to the Alpine driver, the Ferrari. They're losing that, although having said that, Onzi looked a little bit shaky there. There was a bit of a snap as they went up over the crest at the top of the hill, and through Aqua Minerale they come. Looking like at the moment Onzi's got that one comfortable, but it seemed like there was just a slightly twitchy moment there at the top of the hill. But nonetheless, we move here on lap 2 of this sprint race, and it's still the same situation out the front here, with Super Striker looking more and more comfortable here with over a 2-second gap over Cucumber, and potentially his, I guess maybe his main rival for this sprint race win here tonight. Shane down in 18th place, and certainly is not going to be troubling him over the course of this one. I think we can say that with some degree of certainty, as Honey Badger there moving ahead of Cucumber into turn 1 with the DRS. Beautifully done there from him, as Onzi's lost a couple of places here. So Onzi's lost out to Youngie, Shane and Little Mahin obviously was in front of them as well. So Onzi here down to 18th place on lap 3 of the race. That has not gone the way he would have needed to at all. Shane is also attacking on the back of Youngie at the moment, trying to gain some more places here. Can Shane get in the top 10 here tonight? Maybe even a bit further up, who knows? Maybe even some points here in the sprint race. Obviously I say points very loosely, because as we know, Red Arrows use a different point system to the conventional Formula 1 real life points. But when I say points, I mean obviously it's a figure of speech somewhat, but yeah, anyway. So currently we've got Super Striker still leading the race, although Honey Badger has really gained. So I think Super Striker might well have made a mistake over the course of this third lap of the sprint race, because he was over 2 seconds clear of Cucumber and Honey Badger. Now Honey Badger is right on the back here of the race leader, so this could potentially be a change of lead here, as Honey Badger's hunting Super Striker down. Here they come then over the line here to start lap 4 of the race. He's getting closer and closer and closer. He might just be a little bit too late into turn 1, but he's definitely going to be thinking about it there. He's piling the pressure there on the race leader, it has to be said, as Jordan Hilliard's moved ahead of Andrew Pittsmith up into 8th place, and that's a job done there, as we see Youngie also getting ahead of Little Mahin, and Little Mahin losing out to Shane as well. So Little Mahin getting absolutely swamped there by those two drivers. Shane now we're looking to try and apply the pressure here on the back of Youngie at this point, as Little Mahin now having to incur the wrath of Onzi, who's going to be a bit frustrated after the way things have gone earlier on in the race. He's going around the outside here of the hairpin, and that would be an ambitious move, but he's made it stick absolutely brilliantly there. So fantastic move there from Onzi up into 17th place. It's not positioned I'm sure he would want to be fighting for at this point, but nonetheless it's still a great move, and well deserved there from him. And I just don't want to double check that my mic's working, because after such a great opening few laps, I thought you know, it had to, you know, just had to be something wrong, but thank goodness it wasn't, and my mic has been working the entire time, which is brilliant because we've had some great action throughout these first few laps of the race here at Imola tonight for the Red Arrows Formula 1 League, one of the best leagues, if not the best league I commentate on. I mean that with absolutely no shade or insult to any of the other leagues I commentate on. You're all brilliant in their own way, but this one probably the fastest, maybe the most competitive league that I commentate on. It's always an absolute pleasure to see these guys out on the track putting these F1 cars on the F1 25 game through their paces, as we see Andrew Pittsmith here getting the 3-second time penalty there for track limits. So that's not going to be, I'm sure, what he would have wanted. I mean, yeah, but anyway. As we see, and Jordan there making a move here on Formula C round the outside, and that is a beautiful move there from Jordan Hillier, I have to say. Did he start on the hard tyres? Well, he did, but to be fair, almost everyone did, and in fact, do you know what? It just occurred to me why Super Striker pulled such a gap in the opening couple of laps and why he's struggling to now keep Honey Badger at bay. The reason why is he started on the medium tyres, so Super Striker has gone for an ambitious first couple of laps, and it's now really starting to bite him on the bum here. So he's now facing heavy pressure from Honey Badger as they come towards the end of lap 5, and that's going to be playing on his mind a little bit here. Formula C is trying to come back at Jordan Hillier after Jordan Hillier drove around the outside of him through the hairpin, so he's still right there with him. But Formula C also on the medium tyres, as are quite a few of them, to be fair. It's a pretty much an even split between drivers who went for the hards and mediums. And to be honest, I think it's probably going to be quite close between them over the course of this race. And I would have thought also, to negate the fact that of what we would normally see, I think that the guys in the mediums are going to be maybe saving their tyres a little bit more. So maybe you're not going to see as much of a clear, one wearing out and one not. You know, I think it might not be quite like that, because I imagine the medium tyre runners are probably being a bit more conservative on their tyres. But Shane nonetheless into 12th place has made that move there on Youngie, as we see Jordan once again getting ahead of Formula C in the same part of the track he did on the previous lap, and up into 7th place. Didn't catch it on the video this time, but he obviously made the move about a couple of seconds before we switched to them, and they were just coming out of the hairpin, so I would have thought a similar type of move to what we saw on the previous lap there. But Jordan currently running in P7 as a result of that, can now try and chase down the leaders. But out the front, we have still got a race on our hands, and Honey Badger is leading the race. So Honey Badger is in the lead on lap 6 of this race on the hard tyres. Super Striker still sticking to him at the moment, but what has he got left to offer him here? Because those medium tyres are going to be falling away here at this point. So Super Striker still right with him as they come down the start-finish straight. Is he going to have a chance here to put him under any pressure? I don't think he's really close enough to do so. So Super Striker now on the back foot ever so slightly here. Has now got to really take this race here to Honey Badger. But has he got the grip to do so on those medium tyres? That's going to be fascinating to see over the next 5 laps of the race, as we're over half distance here in the opening race of the night here for Red Arrows. And some great action we've had so far here. Really clean, fast action, and great to see. As we've got Shane here on the back of Youngie as they're coming through out of the Villeneuve chicane here into what I believe is called Tozer, is it? I think this one, the hairpin. Don't want to, I might be wrong, but yeah, probably am. I always forget Ravazza is the last corner, and the chicane. Oh God, do you know what? I'm not gonna make a twat of myself. Sorry, do apologise. I'm just not gonna say the corner names, because I think I get them wrong. I always get Villeneuve and Tamburello mixed up as well. It's just embarrassing. I do apologise, but nonetheless, Super Striker here still keeping on the back of Honey Badger here, still just about clinging on to the DRS here, which is crucial for him in his quest to try and stay in this fight for the win, and still managing to carve the gap down to 0.3 of a second onto the brakes into turn 1, as Cucumber here has made the move on ZX10 back up into 3rd place. ZX10 though is going to get a nice run here, and it's going to switch back to the inside beautifully there. ZX10 exploited that space so that Cucumber left gaping, and he does cut the corner a little bit there to ZX10. I reckon that might have been a track limits warning there for him, but for the time being has 3rd place in the bag. But certainly that battle not far from over at this point. Formula C still continuing to fight it out here with Jordan Hillier, as we see the car behind them just making a bit of contact there. Few, they're just tapping Jordan in the rear, with Angst right behind these guys as well. So lots of drivers here in a battle here for 7th place. 4 of them currently in a line. They're well behind the fight for the podium places, and they're well clear of the fight for 11th place. So these guys battling for some good points here in this one. And Jordan there getting back ahead of Formula C up into 7th place. So these guys having a great little scrap here for 7th place. As it does look like Honey Badger might have just broken the DRS gap here to Super Striker. No, Super Striker just has managed to cling onto it by the skin of his teeth. But this might be the last time he gets a bite of the cherry here, because I tell you what, he was pretty close on the previous lap, and this time around he's not able to close in within half a second into turn 1. So this could be his last chance. He might find himself out of DRS at the end of this lap, as we see Formula C's made the move again on Jordan Hillier down the start finish straight, and that is a bit of a recurring theme at the moment. Shane, in the meantime, has moved up into 11th place. I said earlier on, he's surely got to be targeting a top 10. He's currently 4 seconds off of a top 10 spot with just under 3 laps left to go. You have to lap about a second and a half a lap quicker to even have a chance of trying to pass some of these guys and get into the top 10. Jordan, Formula C, Few and Angst are busy fighting, so he's got a chance potentially to complete what would be a very impressive recovery drive here for Shane. Qualified on the front row, obviously would have been a real player in that fight for the win there with Honey Badger and Super Striker if it hadn't have been for that. But nonetheless, I suppose it's could have, would have, should have, but it ultimately didn't quite happen for him. But Jordan here coming down towards Ravazza once again with a slender gap here to Formula C, Few and Angst. And Honey Badger still continuing to eat that gap out there to Super Striker. Just under 2 seconds here between those two. There's ZX10er with Angry Guns there making the move on Cucumber up into 4th place. Angry Guns hasn't really figured much in this battle up near the sharp end. He's had a quiet race so far, but he's pulled off a great move there on the Sauber driver, and he's now pushed Cucumber to just 1 place ahead of his teammate North over here. So we could be seeing an intra-team battle here for 5th place. But Cucumber seems to have just gone a little bit off the boil towards the end of this sprint race. Hopefully we see a more consistent showing in the Grand Prix later on, as Formula C has had a moment. I don't know what's happened to Formula C here, but Formula C is absolutely plummeting down the leaderboard, and there's a big problem there with Formula C. What has happened here? So Formula C currently running in 16th place is, well, my goodness, it's not letting me actually look at the outside car view. It's not letting, oh, here we go, there we go. So he hasn't got any damage on the car, so a spin maybe, or an excursion, I don't quite know. But that has promoted Shane up into the top 10, and I'm just noticing there that Jordan, Angst, Few and Few are now quite spread out. So I think potentially there may have been a bit of foul play, or not necessarily foul play, but some kind of extra curricular incident there that wasn't just Formula C's making. But nonetheless, that's it's a shame for Formula C, because he was on course for some very good points here in this sprint race. Honey Badger is now on the final lap. The race leader has got a 3-second gap here to Super Striker, who is coming under heavy pressure here from ZX10 for 2nd place. Obviously, Super Striker's medium tyres are going to be really filling the pace at this point. There is no doubt about it. And it's going to time in speed green there that Lucky Luciano has made the move on his teammate here, Murph. So up into 13th place goes Lucky Luciano after a first lap calamity. It's been a good recovery drive, solid from Lucky Luciano. He's got a bit under the radar because other drivers like Shane, obviously one of the top contenders here, has had a mega comeback. But nonetheless, nothing to be sniffed out there from Lucky Luciano. A very solid comeback indeed. But in the meantime, we've got to go to the race leader, because Honey Badger was pretty settled in the first few laps. Super Striker made a break for it on the medium tyres, had a good gap, but then Honey Badger wasted no time. Once he got into 2nd place ahead of Cucumber, he chased the race leader down, Super Striker, and took the lead, and since then never looked back. Honey Badger up towards the line is going to take the win here for the first race of the night here at Imola for the Red Arrows Formula 1 League, as Super Striker is going to come over in 2nd place ahead of ZX10. I don't know what happened there. Did ZX10 make the move and then give the place back? Maybe there was a bit of contact there between him and he's given the place back, I don't know. But Cucumber there 4th with Angry Guns P5, Jordan 6th, Angst in 7th with North over 8th, Few 9th with Youngie completing the top 10. Shane, I assume a penalty there, dropping to 11th. Corey 12th, with Lucky Luciano 13th, Murph 14th, Little Matt heading 15, with Formula C there dropping down to P16 in the closing laps. A disastrous end to the sprint race there for him. Lycorius there coming over to finish this race in 17th place here in the end. And then we've got a big gap back to Andrew Pittsmith, who I didn't really see what happened to him, to be honest with you. He's just dropped off the radar completely here in this one. Andrew Pittsmith coming through Ravazza, and he's going to finish this one in 18th place after a, well, clearly some kind of disaster, but I'm not quite sure what has caused that. But Andrew Pittsmith nonetheless there in P18, and the last driver of the line will be Ernie, who'll be P19. Very out of sorts tonight for Ernie, got to say. Saw a fantastic performance from him last night in the Premier Formula Racing League at Jeddah, but tonight absolutely catastrophic there from him. P19 there for Ernie in the sprint race here to kick things off tonight at Imola. But that is it to get things going, and that is the sprint race. Blah, can't even talk. Andy Badger there taking the win ahead of Super Striker, with ZX10 completing the podium. And to the drivers watching this back after the Grand Prix will be uploaded very, very soon, so keep it on the Discord, and I'll be posting the link when it is live.